If you're coming to Glasgow, then prepare to always see rain or see 4 seasons in a day. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch this video. So I've gotten a couple of questions on my Instagram about how I moved to the UK, and I'll be answering those questions in this video. The first part of this video, I'm going to be giving you my experience and how I moved here, and in the second part of this video, I'm going to be giving you tips and also answering a few questions that I got on my Instagram. For me, I started my application process in February. That's when I started applying to universities, and I got my visa in like June, July. The whole process took me about like 5 months, which is an intense process. So I applied to a couple of universities. I think I applied to like 7 universities, and I got into 6 of those, and I didn't get into 1 of them. So the university I'm currently studying in, which I'll let you know during the Q&A, was actually my very last offer letter, and I got this when I was like planning to go somewhere else, and then I was like, oh, I did get into university, because I didn't actually think that I would get in, and it was actually a very intense process. My current university, it took 3 months to hear back from them. I applied in February and heard back from them in May, June. Yeah, it was really intense, and I was like, oh, I probably am not getting into this university. That's why it took so long. But then I got my offer letter and I was like really happy. So the first thing you need to do is to choose a course and then find a university that offers that course that is also within your budget. So people always ask me how to search for universities. For me, the trick I use is that you Google your course. If, let's say, for example, you want to do like an MSc in biotechnology, so you just Google MSc in biotechnology and the year you want to start, maybe 2023 start or 2024 start. So all the universities that offer that course will come up. And if you want to be more specific, then you put the country. So you could say MSc Biotechnology 2023 start UK. So all the universities in the UK that offer that course for that start date will be there. So this is a really easy hack that I found that was really helpful for me. So you don't need to be like, oh, checking a university and checking if they offer your course. It also depends. If you have a specific university in mind, then maybe you would have to like tailor your course to that university. There are also websites where you could go to check universities that are like highly rated for your course, like complete university guide or something. I'll put the name here and the link will be in the description box. So you could go there and put in your course and you see the top universities, and then if that is within your budget, then you can apply to those universities. If those universities are not within your budget, then you can use my idea to filter your results to find more universities, and then you'll be able to find much more affordable universities. So after getting my offer letter, the first thing I did was to pay a deposit, and a deposit is just a money that you pay out of your fees to secure your place at a university, and then you get like a CAS, which is a confirmation of acceptance of studies, and this is what you use to apply for your visa. So I submitted all the documents plus the CAS. I'll let you know the documents during the Q&A part of this video. I submitted my CAS and also my proof of funds to the visa office, and after a few weeks I got my visa. So the proof of funds is basically the remaining part of your tuition fee and living expense. I'll put in a link in the description box where you will find all this information. All of it is on the UK government website. I don't know about every other country, but I only know about the UK. So the link will be in the description box. All the links in this video will be there, and you can easily just navigate through. It's really self-explanatory. So it's a pretty much straightforward process. It's not really difficult, but you need to be determined and set your mind that this is what you want to do, and know when and where, and also be informed, because information is key, and if you don't have the information, then you don't know how to navigate your way. But that is just my experience, and now I'll be answering the questions that you guys have asked me. So I have the questions on my iPad and I'll just be reading through them. The first question is, what uni are you in and what course are you studying? So I'm currently studying a master's in biomedical science here at the University of Glasgow. And the next question is, was there an application fee? So no, there was no application fee for this university. However, there are some other universities here in the UK that require application fees, but for most universities here in the UK there's no application fee. You just apply for free. I mean, I applied to 7 universities and none of them required an application fee. If they did, that would have been crazy, but there was none for me and there was none in this university. So the next question is, what documents did you require? So the documents required depend on the course and depend on the university. So for example, my university actually requires different documents for each course, so I will not say that this is specific to like my entire university. So for me, I submitted my BSc certificate, my transcript, a reference letter, my WAEC result in place of IELTS, and my passport. That's basically all the documents that I submitted before I got my admission. Every other thing you would submit is during the visa application. So the next question is, how much will be required to pursue a degree? So this depends on what kind of degree that you want to pursue. It could be an MSc, a BSc, or a PhD, or even a postdoc. So, and it also depends on the course that you're doing and the university that you're going to. So some universities are much more expensive than the others. In the UK, there are 2 groups of universities. There are the Russell Group universities and the non-Russell Group universities. And obviously the Russell Group universities are much more expensive because they are much more research based. So if you're going to a Russell Group university, then you will be paying more, and if you're going to a non-Russell Group, then you'll be paying less, obviously. So all these kind of depend on you, your budget, where you want to study and what course you want to study and what you want to achieve after that. So it all depends on you. Like I said, use the hack that I gave you, the tip that I gave you, to search for universities and then just simply check the tuition fee, and then you see if it is within your budget. The next question is, did you write IELTS? No, I already said I didn't write IELTS. I used my WAEC results. So if you have like a B or a C in your WAEC, then you can use that in place of your IELTS. However, depending on your course, again, some courses require you to have a B as the minimum requirement. However, some courses will also require a C as the minimum. So you always just check the international requirements for English language, so you know that if you need to write IELTS, then you would write IELTS. And even some universities accept both NECO and WAEC and even NAPTEP. You need to always be informed and ask questions. You can always like email the university or like always Google the university and just put Nigeria. So Nigerians are everywhere, so every university would have like a Nigerian society or a Nigerian rep, and you can always ask them these questions. The next question is, did you use an agent? So no, I didn't use an agent. I did everything myself, which I know can be tiring. But if you're new to this and you don't have that much information, then I would say that using an agent is a good way, because they would have more information than you would, and they would know what to do at every point in time. And every university has specific agents. Don't just go to like a random person that says, oh, I'm an agent. So every university has their own recognized agent. So that's why I say you need information and you need to be able to search by yourself. So if you go to a website, like a university's website, you could just Google or University of Glasgow representatives or University of Glasgow country representatives or whatever university, and then you see all the representatives that are recognized by that university. So there are many agencies that are recognized. I don't really remember them, but there are some that are like recognized widely throughout like every country. But that is a way to find like legitimate agents and not just like random people that may be scammers, you know. Next question is, what is the living cost in Glasgow? So the living cost in Glasgow totally depends on, one, your lifestyle and where you live in Glasgow. I mean, in Glasgow is like relatively the same everywhere. If you're someone that's like always like going to the pub, going to like events, eating out, taking cabs, taking taxis, buying stuff from like expensive places, then living in Glasgow will be really expensive. However, currently there's a cost of living crisis which affects everyone in the UK. So things are relatively more expensive than before. So if you live an expensive lifestyle on top of the cost of living crisis, then it is really expensive. But if you live within your means and budget, then living in Glasgow is much more cheaper than living in like Edinburgh or living in London, obviously, and living in like some other cities here in the UK. So Glasgow is relatively a cheap place to live. Accommodation prices does vary within specific postcodes. So some postcodes will be more expensive to live than other places. Next question is, are you working part-time? So yes, currently I am working part-time. However, I'm not working complete 20 hours because I found that I'm not able to like balance my schoolwork and work like crazy hours, simply because of my kind of lifestyle and my way of doing things. I'm a heavy procrastinator, so if I'm not able to like have time to decide to do my work, then I probably will not get anything done. But it is very possible to work 20 hours and do all of your schoolwork if you are somebody that is really determined and disciplined. And there are like range of part-time jobs you could work. Currently I work at the university, but there are several places that you could work at, a restaurant or anywhere. There's care, there's like warehouse jobs, and there are several other jobs that you could work part-time. So the list goes on. I can't really mention everything you could do part-time, but yes, I am working part-time, which was the question. So the next question is, how did you find accommodation in Glasgow? So accommodation is really crazy. If you're a student and you are living by yourself, then the best thing you can opt for is like a university accommodation. So your university would have like accommodation spaces, most especially for like international students, because they know how crazy it is to come here and like keep looking. So you could apply to your university accommodation or private accommodations like the one I live in. I will put in the link in description box and the timestamp up here, so you could watch that, so you see like the kind of place that is a private student accommodation. However, this is like relatively the cheapest. There are much more fancy ones if you like something really fancy and like eye-catching. So yeah, I got my accommodation through United Student and University Living. University Living is an agency that connects you with accommodation across the UK. United Students do own the accommodation where I live in, so you could check with United Students and University Living for like several accommodations throughout the UK. You could also check like private flats on like Spare Room or Zoopla or several others. There are like many places, Gumtree as well. There are many places you could check for a private flat. The next question is, do you enjoy living in Glasgow? Absolutely, I love living in Glasgow. The only thing is that if you're coming to Glasgow, then prepare to always see rain or see 4 seasons in a day, and always have a jacket. Always have a jacket, because it can rain anytime and it could just like be raining the whole day and you have to like go about your day in the rain, which is crazy. So Glasgow isn't where you would like see sun every time. In fact, if you see the sun, then you would go out and see people like just like soaking and bathing under the sun, because it's not very common. It's not a very common phenomenon. But during the summers, I hear it's like really good and like the perfect place to live, and I'm really excited for the summers to come. But I love living here and it is amazing, and the people here are really friendly. It's like relatively safe. I mean, some places are not as safe as others, but it is a relatively safe city to live in. And the final question is, do you recommend studying in Glasgow? Yes, I do recommend studying in Glasgow. So there are 3 universities here in Glasgow. There's Glasgow Caledonian University, there's the University of Glasgow, and then there's the University of Strathclyde. These 3 universities are great universities. The only Russell Group university is University of Glasgow, although it's an old university, a much more modern university is University of Strathclyde, and a much smaller university is the Glasgow Caledonian University. So all these universities are amazing, and if you're in any of these, I'm sure that you enjoy your time here in Glasgow. If you have more questions to ask me, then leave a comment in the comment section and I'll answer them, or you can head on to my Instagram, which I'll leave the link in the description box, and then you can ask me any more questions. If there are more questions, then I could make a part 2 of this video. If not, I'll just answer you individually, and that is all for this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye.